Gleb Parker High Vibration Foundation, setting a more loving, unconditional tone in the beginning of these videos, trying to get to a more unconditional, loving state. Seems to be helping. Makes it a little easier to convey information. So what I wanted to do today is convey my understanding as I understand it currently, is that you are an immortal being in a timeless reality. There is only one moment in creation. There's only one thing in creation. The all are the one, and the one is the all. And everything is differentiated by frequency. So I'm a different frequency. A rock is a different frequency. This car is a different frequency. All the molecules of this car is a different frequency. And it is the very differentiation between all these frequencies that it is all that is God, Yahweh, higher power, organic connection between all living things, is experiencing itself as all these different things. It is we are the one experiencing itself in different ways. So dimensionality in this particular universe, because there are an infinite amount of universes, there's an infinite amount of parallel realities in relation to our reality. You are a seventh density being manifest into physical reality, and you manifested originally into the third density, and now you're a fourth density entity. And you're starting to realize that you're a fourth density entity, and fourth density, it's not space-time, it's time-space, where space is not so fixed, it's not so rigid. You have malleability in space and time, and we're starting to flex those muscles where you can skip over steps. So you are infinite, you are immortal. The transition between physical and non-physical is just basically remembering more of yourself. You are a fractal of your oversoul. Oversoul has millions, if not billions, of different expressions, millions at least in a physical reality, earth plane existence. And you're yet one fractal. And there's a time coming very, very, very soon where you're going to be able to remember more of who you are. And you're remembering now by this conversation, but you're going to remember a much larger part of yourself. You're going to remember, you're going to be a whole holistic being. You're going to operate on a higher frequency. And that is an opportunity we had and wanted to give ourselves in this lifetime for something that has never been done in creation. And creation is infinite, remind you. So we have done something. We are the most highly focused place in space and time, which is also infinite. So that should tell you something of what is being accomplished here on Earth, what has been accomplished here on Earth. The energy as it's read now by many entities is basically saying that we are going into the light, that we're going to have 1,000 years of peace, and this is the beginning. I'm doing a documentary on the space-time antenna from Bashar, because I want to spread more ideas of this free energy types of ideas, and hiring electrical engineers to be able to run it through its paces to get some really good hard information and do a documentary, and all that's going to go on YouTube. And then the documentary, once it's done, so all the raw material will go on YouTube, and the documentary as a finished product would go on YouTube and into distribution, Netflix, Hulu, and into cable distribution, both private networks, and hopefully to Discovery or Bravo networks or something, to be able to have optimized amount of exposure, because I think it's a fascinating concept. So at the very least get it onto some of these private networks and put it up on YouTube so that everybody can watch it and see it. So that's the brief history that I know of right now. I mean, there's galactic history, there's all this information that's coming through, but that is who you are and what you are as an essence. And sometimes when I mention that to people, they're like, whoa, that's just crazy talk. And check it out. You have a lot of information. You have all this information coming through all these different channels, all representing themselves as extraterrestrial consciousness, some of them as a group consciousness. You've seen Abraham-Hicks. A lot of people are turned on to Abraham-Hicks. Abraham-Hicks represents themselves as a collection of entities. A collection of Earth entities? I don't think so. It's just, more palatable. They're not saying that we're from this collection or this particular star system, blah, blah, blah. So if you are turned on to those types of things, check out some of these other ideas. But it is whatever works for you. It is whatever permission slip is working best for you. So just follow your highest excitement and don't stress out about it. You are immortal. Relative to the concept of time, if you exist now, You always have existed, and you always will exist. So relax. There's no reason to stress. It's okay. Everything is okay. Everything will always be okay. Everything is okay. You're just deciding to explore an idea of fear, and it is just an idea. Your natural state is not fear. Your natural state is not hoarding or, seeing how much money you can collect. Your natural state is unconditional love, and your natural state is without fear. Become more of your natural state. Remember that natural state. Become more integrated as a holistic being. Remember more of these things. Hold them in your mind and your heart and your soul more often than not. That you are immortal, and that you are slipstreaming as a consciousness through billions of parallel realities every second. Billions, to give the illusion of time. Billions and billions and billions have gone by since you've been watching this video. And the frequency that you hold, call it law of attraction, superposition, collapse of the waveform, what you're perceiving, is the vibration that you're currently holding. So what you put out is what you get back. Third law of the universe, law of attraction. Now what you put out is what you're going to get back. So put out what you want, be more of a holistic being, be more loving, and be less critical of others. Lose your judgment. And there's no reason not to be happy. There is no reason not to be happy. You are creating reasons not to be happy. You're giving yourselves reasons. You're perceiving things in a certain way. Once you start fine-tuning those types of things, I think that you'll notice that you'll have a lot more interesting and more profound things and synchronicity happening in your life. So that's just a brief history. That's just a brief understanding how I understand it now. If some of those things in there you haven't heard of before, definitely check out some of these things. I have links below, the different channels. You can go and check out all these things on YouTube. I have tons of other videos in there that help explain some of these things, but as a base point, find the one that works for you. There's in this description, there's all the different types of channels that I like, and there's tons of them out there, and you can look them up on YouTube and check out some things. If you have been exposed to this, this is a reinforcement that you are eternal, you are immortal, that if you find fear coming up, dig into it. Use the tools that are out there, like Bashar's threshold of believability. Why are you afraid of that? You're an immortal being. Why are you afraid? You are believing something that you're not immortal. You're believing you have a belief system that is translating this idea into the idea of fear. When you start to catch that, you're going to start to be curious about fear. You're like, whoa, why am I afraid of that? I'm an immortal being, and I must be translating that in a certain way. So what do I believe about this thing? And you'll just start unfurling and integrating yourself more and more and more and more. And you'll have less things to be afraid of, and eventually you'll have nothing to be afraid of. And that you realize that you are immortal, and that you realize that everybody on Earth are friends that came to play a game with a whole bunch of your homies. You and your homies came to Earth to play a game. It's been a very long game, millennia upon millennia upon millennia, and now that part of the game is over. And there's a portion of us that will go into fourth density fully and go into the light and start transforming the Earth into a Phoenix world, is what I've heard it called by Bashar's race. And the Phoenix world is the uplifting the Phoenix frequency, and they can't really elaborate a lot on that because it's past our comprehension of what that will actually mean. It is a new kind of spirit being, and it will be a collective with all the other races that are out there, the other hybrids that are out there, and the races that will be created in this next 1,000 years. So there we are. I hope that's helpful. A lot of information in there. If some of that is, you're like, whoa, where did some of that come from? Go ahead and post a comment. I'll give you some reference videos if there's some of those gaps in there that you haven't heard before. Thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, life coaching, spiritual coaching, business coaching. It's all good. And I'm always happy to spend an hour on the phone with someone. I'm also doing a project for Bashar's space-time antenna. It is a documentary. I want to make one of these bad boys. I want it done by electrical engineers. I want it tested and run through the paces with some high-end equipment with electrical engineers, people that really, really, really know what they're doing and have a high technical capability. There's some videos I've seen on YouTube from someone that was tinkering with this thing. We're going to use those as a baseline, and we're really going to document this process, and we're going to put this out there. All the raw material will go up on YouTube, and the finished documentary will go up on YouTube for all to see. Very good. Thank you very much. Love and light, and have a fantastic day. Oh, there'll be a link below if you want to contribute to the crowdfunding campaign for this Bashar space-time antenna. That's something that all the contributors will get, links to the videos and updates and stuff that we're doing as well. I'm going to post stuff, a lot of stuff that as we're doing it, to the feed, and links back to YouTube and all that stuff. So you get some material. And eventually we hope to make some, like a professional grade Bashar space-time antenna that can be purchased once we get the whole process down and get a really good cost and how much that will be. For those of you that want to make one yourself, I don't personally want to make one. That's why I want someone to do it and run it through its paces so we can get something that will be really, truly documented, that we can put out there, that other people can start tinkering with and put the critical minds on it. If somebody else wants to run it through the same type of paces, another engineer or an individual, they'll have some baselines to be able to do that. Thank you very much. Love and light.